Welcome to Sports Rewind Digital. We're live tonight. I've got Davo and BJ. BJ's a bit under the weather there, got a bit of a sore throat. Davo, how are you travelling, mate?
Oh, mate, a rum a day keeps the doctor away. So, yeah, we're all good.
You beauty. Got a bit of YouTube ads going on in the background there. What's that all about? BJ's gone already. Mate, we've got a special guest tonight. Newcastle lad on the world stage in sport. Rally star, one of our fans of the show, coach of fourth grade, got us onto him, and it's going to be really interesting to talk some rally. And for those that are into their rally and different motorsports, this one's going to be for you. We're going to get him on very soon, and then we'll kick off our tidbits straight after. We've got MLB, cricket, and we've got plenty to talk about other than that. So I'm going to bring Taylor Gill onto the stream. Taylor, welcome.
Hey, thanks, mate.
Mate, great to have you here. You're in Finland at the moment. It's about 2:00 in the afternoon in Finland. You did just drop the temperature on us. Tell us again what it is over there.
Yeah, I think it's about 30 degrees today. Beautiful blue skies. Can't complain at all.
Absolutely beautiful. Bit better than what we got going on here in our Aussie winter, that's for sure. Hey, mate, you're FIA Rally Star in the Rally Star program. First of all, tell us how you got started, I guess, in motorsport.
Yeah, I guess it all probably started with my dad, who loved motorsport since he was sort of a teenager. Spent his teenage years growing up in New Zealand in the same town that a driver named Possum Bourne was from. So Possum was quite a well-known driver in Australia and New Zealand. Dad sort of fell in love with the sport there, and then it all, I guess, transferred to me. I started racing go-karts at Newcastle when I was 7 years old. So got my motorsport license the day I turned 7, which is the minimum age, and then I've just built up from there on out. So I did sort of 6 years racing go-karts, and then when I turned 12, we bought a Subaru, sort of late 90s Subaru, and started doing some, I guess, car club events, time trials, sort of motorkhana, autocross style of events, and then built up to, I guess, rally sprints, which are a sort of a short format, cheaper way to go rallying, and then it progressed through to state and the national level rallying in Australia, and I guess now international level rallying.
At 12, okay, so how tall are you? Like, did you have trouble reaching the pedals back then? Like, I know that's an early age to start, but like, how'd you go sort of getting behind the wheel at that age?
Yeah, I do remember I used to have the seat all the way forward, and I had about a 6-inch block of foam behind me, and the foam sort of slowly got smaller and smaller. But yeah, I guess when things got a little bit more serious and the car had a few more modifications to it, then we had the seat brackets were all made for me. So then it wasn't so much of an issue, but it was no different. I mean, I'm not the tallest guy in the world, but I'm not short. But when I was a kid, I was a bit short and I was small. Yep. I remember racing go-karts. My feet weren't big enough to fit the smallest size of race boots, so I had to wear like Converse shoes from Target for a little while there. But it's not too bad.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I've still got those 6-inch blocks, Davo, for driving.
But, I wasn't going to mention that, but since you did, yeah.
Hey, so Newcastle based for rally, was there much sort of exposure in our area, in our local area for that?
There is a little bit. There's a car club, West Lakes Auto Club at just sort of Wobber there. We did lots of events there when I was young, sort of in that age bracket of 12 to 14 or 15. We were there, quite often doing a lot of their events. So it's a really good track they've got there, and it's only 5 minutes from where we lived. So that was quite helpful. But then I suppose, I mean, the scene in Sydney, of course, is bigger. So it's Newcastle's not the biggest place in Australia for rallying, I would say, but it's quite a central location. You know, it sort of takes us 10 hours to get to Queensland, 10 hours to get to Victoria. You know, you maybe a day and a half drive from South Australia. So it's relatively central in that regard, as opposed to, you know, living in Queensland and having to travel all the way down the coast. So yeah, it's not a bad place to be based, I think, as a starting point, I suppose.
For sure. what are, I guess, some of the races around Australia, some of the bigger name races, and how did you progress from your local Newcastle sort of races to those events?
So I guess the pinnacle of rallying in Australia is the ARC, or the Australian Rally Championship, which has been around for 50 years now, I think, quite a long time. So the championship's always evolving and changing, new generations of cars and new generations of drivers coming in. But yeah, I guess it's just it's more or less a natural rate of progression. Rallying's one of those sports where anyone can compete at at as high a level as you want, at the highest level you can afford, more or less. So yeah, even in the world championship, if you've got enough money, basically you can buy your way and compete in a world rally car at the top of the world championship, which is a bit different to Formula One in a sense. No one can just go in with enough money and race in Formula One. So it is good like that. But of course you have to learn and progress. If you want to succeed at the high level of the sport, you have to be successful at the bottom level of the sport as well. So yeah, so we did a few years, like I said, doing these motorkhanas, Khanacrosses, which were quite a really good event to learn. They're very short format. You might go out and do 4 tracks that have been set up. The tracks are no longer than a kilometre long, but it just gives kids and young people it's a good way to learn car control and things like that. It's a controlled, closed environment. And then, yeah, like I said, we stepped up to rally sprints. So we did some rounds of the New South Wales Rally Sprint Series, which are I guess a faster version of a Khanacross. You might have a track that's 3 kilometers long or 4 kilometers long, and we'll do it 3 times in one direction, 3 times in the other direction. And those events is where a co-driver starts to become important. You have to have a co-driver doing pace notes, things like that. And then, from there, the minimum age to go rallying in Australia, proper stage rallying, is 17, I think. But I actually got dispensation to compete at 16 on a learner's permit. So, I guess had quite a decent year planned in 2020 when I was 16, but of course COVID sort of put all that to an end. But yeah, it's sort of just a natural rate of progression. We started doing some smaller events like New South Wales State Championship rallies, and then it quickly progressed into doing national level events. To be successful in a sport like rallying, you really need to be gaining the experience, going in the deep end, and trying to learn as fast as you can and learn on the run.
Yeah, for sure. I know Davo's got a follow-up question to this next one, but how long have you and your co-driver Dan been together?
We started competing together halfway through last year. So we've only done 4 rallies together, I think, now. But it feels like a lot more than that. I mean, he's here as well, living in Finland with me. So, we're basically spending our whole lives, discussing rallying and talking about the steps forward and how we can improve for the next rally and that sort of thing. So although on paper we haven't done so much competing with each other, it's definitely, it's been a good relationship so far.
And how's he go with looking down the whole time? It's like most people trying to read in a car gets car sick after a minute or two. How's he going the whole rally, pretty much not looking up?
Yeah, it's definitely a skill. Probably not one that I'd take up, but I don't know how he does it, to be honest. He, as you say, he's looking down basically the whole time. Even when we're doing the reconnaissance before the rally, we're still driving at slow speed, but he's writing everything down. It's really an art. So there are co-drivers that do have issues with it and have to take tablets and things like that. But I guess it's just, it's just how your body adjusts to it, I suppose.
And is it true that it might just be like the top level, that the drivers, you're not allowed to drive the course until it's actually rally day? It's on the navigators to sort of prepare you for it, or can you drive the tracks before you actually race on them?
More or less. So basically the way it works, generally speaking, for a pace noted rally, which is, I guess, a normal rally, whether it's World Championship level or Australian Championship level, we'll go for an Australian Championship rally, for example. The event is normally a run on a Saturday and a Sunday, but on the Thursday and the Friday, the rally roads are, I guess, open for us to drive on. So the roads are all public roads that get closed for the event, but the organisers will send out a reconnaissance schedule. So every stage of the rally, we get to drive over twice before the event starts. So basically the first time we drive over it, I'll you're driving in a road car, 60 k's an hour, and I'll describe the road to Dan as I see it using sort of our short form code, I guess. So, basic rundown is I describe the corners from a 1 to 10. So a 10 is basically a nothing kink in the road, and a 1 is a hairpin, and then everything in between. So I describe the corners, Dan writes it all down. On the second pass, he'll read it back to me, and I'll basically just check it. We can adjust things, that sort of thing, basically validate them. And then on the Saturday and the Sunday, it's flat out in the rally car, and he basically reads the notes that we've written in the days prior.
Insane. You just can't imagine. I mean, we, drive around a normal street and stuff like that. And, you go out at a night time and a road's unfamiliar to you and you're sort of backing off, and you guys have seen a road a couple of times and going flat stick. It's pretty insane. Mate, the Rally Star program that you're in, the FIA Rally Star, now, how was the selection process for that? I know you've done really well in the Australian side of things. Was that a contributing factor to getting your spot over there?
Yes and no. So basically the way it worked, they were picking people. They run the finals in continents. So I was in the Asia Pacific final, and basically I got picked from Motorsport Australia as a wild card to go over there. So there was a bit of a process. You could qualify doing like slalom qualifications, and they set up simulator challenges. I was fortunate enough to get picked as a wild card. So then we basically went over to India, is where they held the final, and driving these what they call cross karts. So they're basically a motorbike engine powered buggy. It was 3 days. They started with, I think it was 50 of us to start with. The first day was just timed runs, basically. That narrowed it down to 24 of us. And then again, the second day was basically time runs. We ended with the top 12 for the third day. And then the third day, they have basically a jury panel there. So there was five guys basically judging us on our every move, whether it's driving the car. We had to do reflex challenges, fitness tests. They want to see how we engage with media and just other competitors in general, sort of thing. And it all ended with an interview process. And then, at the end of that, they picked the winners. So I was fortunate enough to win the Asia Pacific final. And then, they had, a final for Europe and the Americas and Africa and all that sort of thing to, I guess, end up with the 6 winners that we've got now. So it was quite a good process, actually. The cross karts they had us driving were a very difficult thing to drive. Just really strange balance, having the engine right behind you and not much weight on the front. They're a really tricky thing to drive. So kind of no better platform to gauge if someone's going to be a good driver in a rally car or not, because if you can adapt to driving one of those well, you can adapt to driving anything well, sort of thing.
How different your car that you're driving in now compared to the car that you're driving in Australia?
There are a few differences. The one big thing, which is, I guess, often overlooked, is I'm sitting on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. So that did take a little bit of adjusting. But like living in Finland, they drive sitting on the left as well. So by the time we kind of got into rally mode, it wasn't so bad. But I would say the biggest differences is the Subaru we campaigned in Australia is heavy. It's quite a big car compared to the little Ford Fiesta that we drive over here. So that is, I guess, a difference that you notice. I would say the Subaru is more powerful in a straight line, gives you, I guess, more of a kickback in the seat sort of thing, whereas the Fiesta doesn't really give you that sort of feeling. But because the car is so light and so well set up, the chassis is really precise. The handling in general is really, really good, quite confidence inspiring, I suppose, as opposed to a Subaru like that, which is now, 15 years old or thereabouts. So, it's had some knocks in that. They're just an old car. They're not as precise as something that was, built last year in a factory by, people that are there doing that all day. So, generally speaking, on a stage, I think if you had a fast, smooth stage, the Subaru would probably be quicker over the length of the stage. But if it was a smaller, tighter, narrower, rougher stage, then the torque of the Fiesta would really sort of come into its own there.
Fair enough, mate. Flicking through some of the socials And let's talk about the Rally Star program. First race in San Marino, you actually won the Rally 3 and finished 10th overall. First of all, congratulations. And what's the difference for us blokes that aren't fully into rally? What's the difference between the different classifications?
Yeah, you could probably look at it in the same sense as Formula One. So in rallying, we have the top level in the World Championship is basically, they regard that as Rally 1. So it's the top specification of cars. Below that is Rally 2 or WRC 2. So it's basically the next step down. But Rally 2 is a super popular category all across the world because it's basically a customer-based program. So a team like Skoda make a Rally 2 car and then customers buy them to run in their own national championships and so on. So basically in San Marino, the field was dominated by these Rally 2 cars. Rally 3, which is what I'm competing in, is a relatively new concept, and it was basically created to bridge the gap between what we call Rally 4, which is front-wheel drive cars, only two-wheel drive, as opposed to the Fiesta I-Drive, which is four-wheel drive. Because the jump from that two-wheel drive Fiesta to the Rally 2 car, which is, a specific custom-built car, they're about 5 times the price of a Rally 4 car. So, Rally 3 was basically created to make the jump not so big. So that's where we sit at the moment. So it's just sort of natural progression. You go from Rally 3, Rally 2 is the next step up, and then Rally 1 is the step up after that.
Nice. So the rally program that you're in, do they teach you all different disciplines? Obviously, you'd be learning to drive on different, gradients and terrains and things like that. But also, do they teach you social media things and mentally preparing for races and things like that?
Yeah, for sure. We've got a really good, support network of people around us involved peripherally with the Rally Star program. So it gives us some really good contacts for, things like mental health, but mental fitness, physical fitness. Like I said, social media and that sort of thing. So in general, we do have quite a good support network, and the whole, purpose of the program, of course, the speed in the car is crucial. You can't be successful without the speed in the car, but it's all the 1%ers as well that you wouldn't maybe normally think of. So, like I said, things like physical fitness is probably a bigger one, but, social media and media training is something that's easier to forget, I suppose. But, to be successful in any sport, not only rallying, but motorsport in general, you have to, put as much focus on all the 1%ers as you do on the 95%, which is the driving the car side of things.
Absolutely. Mate, it all goes together. Like as you said, any sport, you've got to put it all together. All those 1%ers make that big difference. Now, your next rally coming up is tarmac. Have you done much on tarmac?
Not from a rallying point of view. I raced go-karts, like I said, for 6 years. That was all on tarmac. I've done some sort of tarmac sprint events, but I've never, not until only a month ago, I'd never driven, a proper tarmac rally car on a proper tarmac stage. So, it is a bit of a different, almost a different discipline, a different approach. There's different things to watch for compared to doing a gravel rally. But, I think we're pretty prepared. I probably come almost more naturally to driving on tarmac because it's muscle memory from racing go-karts for all those years. So, I think going into it, we're pretty confident that we can do quite okay. But like I said, there's some specific things that you got to watch for, like in tarmac rallying. A big thing is the cuts. A lot of guys will cut corners, run two wheels on the inside of the road and pull the gravel out onto the road. So all of a sudden you're doing a tarmac rally, you're on tarmac tires, and you come to a corner and there's gravel or mud all over the road. So there's things like that you got to watch for. Of course, on a gravel rally, the whole road is gravel, so that's not so much of a factor. Things like you've got to be careful. If we follow into those cuts, it can be quite easy for the sharp edge of the concrete to cut the tire, get a flat tire. So some things like that to watch for. But I think it's just crucial that we finish the rally and gain the experience.
And
for sure.
What about the snow? Have you had much driving in the snow? Like, does your the series you're in, do they go in the snow, or is it just mainly the gravel and the tarmac?
Yeah, so there are snow rallies. I mean, living in Finland, rallying on snow is quite a big thing. So
I was going to say you'd have them through winter there, yeah.
Yeah. Really, my driving on snow is pretty limited to driving down to the shops and back in wintertime here. But I was lucky enough to get sort of 5 or 10 minutes in a Rally 3 car on snow at the start of the year. And it's definitely different. It's just a weird feeling. The grip you get on the snow with the studded tires that we run is really good. You actually get probably more grip on snow with a studded tire than what you do on gravel with a gravel tire. So it's a bit of a weird sensation like that, because I guess most people envision driving on snow being super slippery, but with the right setup, the right tires, it's not so slippery. So in the World Rally Championship at the moment, they have one rally which is on snow, which is in Sweden. So that's normally at the start of every year, and it's also coincides as a round of the Junior World Championship as well. So it is something that you have to be good at, but I suppose it's not the be all and end all.
Yep,
for sure. Hey, Matt's enjoying the show. Thanks for joining us, Matt. Hey, what's your favorite discipline to drive on?
I would say gravel. I mean, the feeling driving on gravel is incredible, especially when the car's really hooked up. But then again, maybe that might change after our next tarmac rally. So we'll just have to see. We really enjoyed we got to do a tarmac test in the car a month ago, like I said before. So that was really, really good fun. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe you have to ask me that question after our next rally.
For sure, mate. So there's 6 rallies in your series. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure I read that. Yep.
Yeah.
So moving into round 2. Now, for you to get a seat next year, top four drivers from the Rally Star go through. Is that correct?
Yeah, so they pick 4 of the 6 of us, but it's not necessarily the top 4 just on speed. Okay. They want to see. They set some objectives for us. They want to see our progression, how we start at the start of the year and where we are at the end of the year. Have we improved? Have we stayed the same? How well can we absorb information and put that into our driving and our day-to-day life as well? So, yeah, it is the top 4. And like I said before, the speed is, of course, crucial. They're not going to pick the 4 slowest guys, but, it's the whole picture as well that we have to look at. Yeah.
And I guess winning that first race in Rally 3, obviously, pretty big weight off the shoulders, and moving forward to the next round, does it seem a little bit less daunting going in, having that success in the first race?
I think so, yeah. It's nice to, I guess, get the monkey off the back. At the moment, I guess I'm the only Australian actively competing in Europe in rallying, so it's not like there's a lot of pressure, but there's subconsciously pressure, I suppose, because I'm the only one over here doing it at the moment. So, yeah, it was definitely a weight off the shoulders, like you said. But now we've just got to knuckle down for the rest of the year. Again, the next rally, like we've said, is tarmac. That'll be a first for me. So, maybe think we have to have lower expectations from a results point of view, and just really ensure that we finish the rally and gain the experience. One of the other guys in the program has done a few tarmac rallies as well, so it'd be good to sort of benchmark ourselves off him.
Yeah, for sure.
And being over in Finland, like, you've acclimatized pretty well. Like, it's a world away from here in Australia, and as you said, you're the only one from down here that's doing it. So how have you found sort of like the change in lifestyle? Has that been a factor in your preparation and how you've gone so far, you reckon, or just being away from everything has made it easier?
Yes and no, I would say. Because we're living over here, I mean, our whole focus, everything we're doing in day-to-day life is based on rallying, and we're always focusing on the next event and that sort of thing, and just trying to build a bit of a support network, not only in Finland but in Europe as a general. The sport, I guess, is a big game of not what you know but who you know. So we need to, I guess, get right in the middle of that. Of course, there's times where I wish I could be at home in Australia and go to the beach and hang out with mates and that sort of thing, but at this period of my life, this is obviously important to me. So, yeah, it's definitely been a big change and taken some adjusting, but we're feeling quite well settled now. We've got a place to live, and we know, I guess, the processes, and we can go to the supermarket and know where to buy ham and cheese and that sort of thing. So, feeling, I guess, quite well established now in that regard.
And picking up the language?
Yes and no. I can
enough to get by.
Yeah, I can count to 100 and I can say hello and thanks, but that's about the extent of it. It's a hard language to pick up, to be honest. I mean, we've spent a bit of time in some other countries like Italy quite a lot recently, and although you can't understand the language, it's, I guess, easier to follow someone's sentence. You can sort of see what someone might be talking about. In Finland, it's just organized jumble. So yeah, it's a tricky one to pick up.
How about your co-driver, mate, with the communication and stuff for the races? I assume that there wouldn't be much English with communications with that as well. Is that the case?
Yeah, it is tricky when we're in San Marino. Of course, Italian speaking, and it was a round of the Italian Championship. And because it's not really renowned as, I guess, a big international event, so all the regulations, the bulletins and things that were getting sent out were all in Italian, and you had to translate. The officials, the marshals, could only speak Italian. So it's definitely, I guess, an extra hurdle that you have to think about. But it's just a bit of a headache. You know, they actually did send out a copy of the regulations in Italian, and then they sent out a copy in English. And when you translate the Italian ones, they don't line up with the English ones. So it's definitely some challenges like that. But you know, you just got to adapt and overcome, I suppose.
What about all the road signs and things like that? All, I guess they'd be pretty universal, would they?
Somewhat. I mean, in a rally, you get a road book, which is how we follow where we're going on like a transport section and things like that. I mean, our pronunciation of some of the road signs is probably far from perfect, but we just kind of look at it and go, the first three letters are KYZ. So when you see a sign with KYZ, turn here, sort of thing. So yeah, like I said, you just got to, I guess, work it out on the run.
For sure. Hey, what's some races and goals for this season, but also future plans, mate? What are some of the bigger goals?
Yeah, I mean, for this season, our main priority is being in that top four at the end of the year and being selected. So yeah, the four of us who get picked get to do next season in the Junior World Rally Championship, which is still competing in that Rally 3 category. But yeah, basically follows the World Championship around. It's five rallies. And then, it's sort of natural progression from there. The prize for winning that is a few drives in the World Rally 2 category, so Rally 2. And then through the Rally Star program, they basically fund you to try and get a full season in that. But, that's still quite a few steps away to get to that point. We have to win the Junior World Championship. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, this season, it's about being in that top four. Next season, we're focused on trying to do as well as we can in the Junior World Championship, and then it sort of snowballs from there. If we can go up a level there, then our focus is on trying to win the WRC2, the Rally 2 category, and then it's you're trying to push for a drive in the big seat. But yeah, that's quite a long way away. So we just got to I guess look one step at a time at the moment and keep one eye on the future.
Absolutely, got to have those goals, mate. You got any advice for any youngsters coming through? I know we had Charlotte Pointing on just recently, and she was a karter and went through, and she's now in the Aussie Racing Car Series. I guess, have you got any tips for those youngsters that want to come through and possibly do rally or some sort of motorsport?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just seat time, just time driving the cars. It's so hard because as soon as you kind of get out of that level of go-karts in a rallying sense, you can't just go and practice. When I was racing go-karts, and it's still the same now, it's easy enough to go to the track every weekend and just drive round and round and round in circles and just get better and better and better. In rallying, that access to that is quite a lot harder. So I think just any opportunity you get to drive a car is valuable. And it doesn't matter whether you're driving a full-blown top-spec rally car or mum's Corolla around to the shops or whatever. You can always be thinking about things and thinking about lines, whatever it might be. So yeah, the biggest thing I think is just seat time behind the wheel. It's it's all good and well to be good at everything else, but if you're not good behind the wheel, then it's quite hard. So that's, I would say, the biggest thing.
Mate, speaking about going down to the local shops, What's your daily drive when you're going to get your ham and cheese from the local shop?
We've got a Volkswagen Golf wagon, so it's not bad. It gets us around. It's good for carting luggage to the airport and back every few weeks. But
yeah,
it's funny because it's got no air conditioning, which when we bought it we thought, no dramas. We're in Finland. It's 20 degrees, no need for air conditioning. So maybe regretting that a little bit now, but it's. It's okay. We don't really spend long hours in it anyway, so it's good for getting us down to the shops and back.
Old school aircon.
There's
winding down the window. Turn on the aircon.
Mate, thanks for joining us tonight.
When we get on the rally car.
Thanks for joining us tonight, mate. Where can people follow along so we can track your progress?
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm on, I guess, all the normal social medias. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's just Taylor Gill, so you can look me up there and follow along.
Awesome, mate. Wishing you all the best, and thanks again for jumping on. And we'll be watching out for you in the next couple of races.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, mate. See ya.
Thank you,
boys. Bye.
It's good to have some local talent on, especially doing things at the international level. Randall, mate, you didn't even get a word in up there. What's going on? Can't talk or something? He's frozen now. Imagine coming onto a podcast and not being able to talk, Randall.
Yeah, he's gone. It's just still. Out.
Oh, yeah, he's back. What's going on?
Yeah, I think the voice was killing. The voice was killing my bandwidth. I think couldn't take the deep bass.
Fair enough. It's great to have Taylor on. We wish him all the best. Upcoming season. What a massive, program for him being in the Rally Star. And can't wait to watch the progress. All right, we've got lots to get through tonight, fellas.
Hell of an effort for a young guy there.
Absolutely. I don't know who Avocado 3 is, but he's right. Only time BJ shuts up when his Wi-Fi is off is crap. Absolutely true. Hey, tidbits, fellas. Let's kick it off. I think I don't even know who's up first. I think it's you, Davo, is it? Or is that Randall?
No.
Yeah, that's me.
That's Lockyer.
Yeah. I've got the old the Queensland voice happening. The old Darren Lockyer. Shohei Ohtani leads the Angels in every category. Hitting, batting average, home runs, RBIs, OBP, slugging, OBS, triples and doubles. And in pitching, he's leading in wins, ERA, innings pitched, Ks per 9. With everything. Sorry.
Oh, this is awesome. What great viewing. I tell you what, Randall. Shohei Ohtani's he's just boring. He's just too good. It's just.
I don't think it's boring. It's not boring. It's great.
No, it's not boring. You're right.
It's rigged. Ask Brendan Belt.
Mate, maybe we should get your mum on, Randall. How you going, Sue? Good to have you on. Your son's not very well at the moment. Listen to his voice. Terrible.
Obviously, she's having fun, though, in China. So
absolutely. What's your next one, Randall?
Rightio. IKF is the first Yankee since Babe Ruth in 1921 to record a strikeout, a triple, a home run, and a steal of home in the same season. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad pickup for the Yankees, was he?
I didn't see the steal at home. I missed that one. There you go. All right. Over to me, I think it is, Davo.
Yeah, it is you, mate.
Yes. How about this guy? He's absolutely crushing. Ellie De La Cruz, the first player in the World Series era since 1903 to record 20 hits, 5 stolen bases, 3 home runs in a player's first 15 career games. Don't know about you, Blaze. He hit for the cycle the other day and absolutely love watching him play. It's just been awesome to watch. He's quick. He's
How's he
He's all
squaring
over
up that ball though? Like you zoom in on that photo, and he didn't miss it. He squared that ball up. I think I've seen on socials where they have zoomed in on that, and
there's a flat spot.
And he does triples easily. Like he's just got that natural speed.
Well, how's he's the one that he went for the cycle, the triple? He got there easy, and it was like most people would just be
center right off the wall.
Up double.
Yeah.
So
he did take one off the knee though, I think today, didn't he? Or yesterday?
I didn't see that one, mate. No.
Hit one down into his own knee.
Fair enough.
He was hobbling
That's
around.
not good for him.
No.
All right, that finally happened. Who's on first? For those that don't know, that
oldie but a goodie.
Go back 7 years. Ask an adult.
Still one of the best pieces of comedy ever. Is listening to those two do it and do it so easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, love seeing that photo. It's been around for a while, but still a good one.
It is. You're up, Davo.
Yeah, so one of Randall's mates, Jim Palmer, is the only pitcher to win a World Series game in 3 different decades. So last week I had George Brett winning batting titles. This time Jim Palmer, he won a World Series in the 60s, 70s and 80s. And to go along with that, he never gave up a grand slam and never gave up back-to-back home runs. So like those last 2 stats are just crazy. To never give up a grand slam is unbelievable.
Even back to back. It's just in today's day, it happens all the time with Trout and Ohtani. I can count 3 times this year that they've done it.
And they did it the other day. They went back to back to back, and it wasn't even Ohtani. It was Trout, Taylor Ward, and Brandon Drury, or something like something like that.
Yeah,
but to never give up a grand slam over your whole career, pretty
insane.
Good.
And he played across 3 decades. So it's not just like he was there for a couple of years.
No. So second one is good old Paul Goldschmidt. He's the first Major League Baseballer to play a regular season game in 5 countries. So he's been in of course, the USA and Canada. They're just a given. But also he was part of the Mexico series, came out to Australia as part of the Diamondbacks, and has just been in England. So first player to play in 5 countries. So it's a pretty cool stat for him.
It is a cool stat, mate. I like the look of the London Stadium. Looks unreal. I hope they get back to Sydney at some stage. That would be quality, that's for sure. But yeah, who knows? All right, that rounds out our tidbits for the week. We got bits and pieces to come for the rest of the night. I've got a bit of a home viewer question for you guys. I guess we'll give our input on who we'll take first, and then for those listening along, please let us know who you'd take. All right, pick the 2 best catches. Oh, you know who I'm choosing. I'm actually I've got Posey on my list just because that last stat last week, only 27 pass balls, but there's so many good ones to take there. I'm actually going to take Pudge over Molina. I'm going to take Posey and Pudge. Who you got, fellas?
I'm going Pudge and Mauer. Like, Piazza was the hitter, but so was Mauer. He was average and power, and Pudge for his glove. I know Molina, he's done a lot, but the throwing rate that Pudge had coming up, he's the one for me back there.
Love watching him.
Yeah, for me, it's Joe Mauer and Buster Posey. I think they're my 2 picks. Like you said, Mauer, man, the bloke could just flat out hit, couldn't he?
Yeah.
So he was unreal.
All right, let us know for those that are watching along who you got. For those that are watching the replay later on, let us know in the comments who you're taking. But that was a good one. I'd seen that the other day and thought it would be good. I've got another follow-up from last week. One of you boys sent this to me. Last week we had him on. He got his win. Who sent me that one? That's quality.
That was me. That was me.
Yeah.
Jordan Lyles. I think that was maybe one of my tidbits last week.
Yep.
It said he went 15 straight losses in 15 appearances this year for Kansas City. And then, bam, this week he gets himself a win against the Rays.
How good's that against the Rays? So all the teams are doing against. Molina and Pudge. I like it, Ninja.
Of course he's gone a card.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Great choices, mate. I like it. But yeah, that's a quality one. Getting the win against the Rays. Yeah, they've been a tough team to beat all year, and to change that 15-0 or 0-15 to get the one. And the next little slide I got here, Davo, is one that you sent through. It's unbelievable watching this, but run us through this one.
Oh, what a lineup. So this is the West Indies side. They played, it was sort of a blended era, sort of like it was the end of the Greenwich and Viv Richards and the start of Courtney Walsh and Curly Ambrose. But pretty much the starting 11 is Greenwich and Haynes opening, Viv Richards batting 3, Richie Richardson 4, Carl Hooper 5, Gus Logie, Jeffrey Dujon behind the stumps, and then you get into Curtly Ambrose, Marshall, Patrick Patterson, and Courtney Walsh. Now, you'd hate to come up against that, but geez, it'd be good to watch. So I know it's after Holding and all that, but Patterson was still there, but that's still one hell of a lineup to throw out there. So be certainly fun to watch.
I'm cool, man.
Kings
Big Richards, mate. They're just brilliant to watch. I remember as a kid, we had a rep carnival up at Lismore, and we had a couple of Aussies up there. It was Steve Waugh and Mark Waugh, and they had a couple of the West Indies. They had a West Indies versus, might have been New South Wales, actually, up there at Lismore. And I remember Curtly Ambrose. I was a little bit smaller than him, Davo, just a touch. I remember seeing him, mate. Unbelievable, just watching him bowl in the nets, and we didn't even see the game that they played or anything like that, but it was, absolutely brilliant. But, mate, we're flicking through a bit of memorabilia earlier tonight and seeing some of this West Indies stuff. Let's talk about that now, if you like, Davo.
Yeah.
I'll bring this up.
Yeah, so that's me. Mate. We've followed A.K. Davidson. He's a cousin of ours, so Alan Davidson, passed away earlier this year. So the family have decided to pass on a lot of his stuff because he had tons. As a cricket fan, going down to his place, like forget being a family member, just being a cricket fan. All these bats, like yes, that one's framed there, but the others were just sitting in a corner in a bedroom. So like they weren't looked after or anything, they've just been put in the corner. So the family have decided enough's enough. They've kept some for themselves, but they're auctioning off a lot of his stuff. So some of his old blazers, a couple of baggy greens, and just a lot of memorabilia is going up. Auction finishes on Wednesday. So it's good to see like Noel, his son, and Betty, his wife, they've kept what they want. But yeah, so any cricket fans out there that want anything, check out Abacus Auction House down in Melbourne. You can bid now and the auction goes on Wednesday. So I've already got a few things at home here from Alan, but we're going to look at sort of putting in bids on a few more things. So hopefully we can add to the collection. But it's great to see it go out to the wider fraternity, the cricket fraternity, that now gets a chance to own some of this stuff, because for so long it was never on display at Alan's place. It was always just tucked away in the garage, in a bedroom. So it's good that it's now out and the public can enjoy it. So for any cricket fans out there, and it's not just Alan's stuff as well. He was a cricket collector. Like we talked about, there's a signed team sheet from the West Indies. Steve Waugh's pads that are signed. Brian Lara's batting gloves from when he scored 277 against Australia. Even a West Indian cap that's supposed to go for around 20 grand. It's the
Frank Worrell's
cap, yeah. So do yourself favours, check it out. Thankfully, the baggy green and blazer that I'm wearing there was from an Ashes tour. It's not up, so that must be one of the ones that these wife and son have decided to hold on. So I was very privileged to be able to sort of wear that. And as a cricket fan, we're gonna bid on a few things.
As a sports fan, do yourself a favour and just go and have a look at some of the stuff that's up there. It is absolutely insane, the different bits and pieces, photos and bats. There's a bat signed by 44 different players, and it's past and present. There's so many things.
Bradman signed stuff as well.
Some great memories there, Davo, that's for sure, mate, and good luck getting your piece. Hopefully we can see you hold it up next week or a couple of weeks.
Well,
in the
piece we're after,
it
might be a bit hard to hold up. It's the actual nameplate from the SCG scoreboard, and it's not a steel one. It's actually a cloth nameplate from the old SCG, and it's 2.7 meters wide. So we thought, as Davidsons, as cricketers, as cricket lovers, we thought that'd be nice to have in the house. Just got to find a wall that's about 3 meters wide to be able to put it up, and somehow how we're going to put it up. But looking forward to just seeing all the stuff go to good homes.
Mate, if you get it, we might have to do a bit of a rundown and try to get the old SCG scoreboard and take it to your house, mate, just so that we can put it up. That's for sure.
It's sitting there doing nothing, wasting away. They were supposed to be moving out to the Powerhouse Museum, I think, to keep it because it's heritage listed.
Yeah.
But it was just sitting behind at the SCG there for a while, so not sure where it's at. But next time you go to the SCG, the gates there into the members stand, like on the outside, are named after Alan. So that's a pretty cool sort of thing that's still there, named after him anyway.
Absolutely. That's very cool, mate. While we're talking about cricket, might as well talk about the women's Ashes, mate.
Done and dusted.
Ooh.
We rolled them. We rolled them this morning. Ash Gardner went through them. She ended up with 7 wickets in the second inning and 11 for the match. So it's a great effort. It was turning out to be a real good test. This morning, when play started, we needed 5 wickets. They needed 150 runs. And Ash Gardner just ripped through the tail and game over. 1-0 to Australia.
Plenty of runs scored, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was. It was a good wicket. There was a bit there for the batters early, like Tammy Beaumont showed that. First English woman ever to score a double century. She batted really well. Perry batted well for Australia in the first innings, unfortunately getting out for 99. So it was tough for the bowlers early, but then it turned. The cracks started appearing and turned. So a good test wicket and a great result.
Yeah, for sure. So now they only play that one test, don't they? They move on to 2020s and 1 days, don't they?
Yeah. So the test was worth so many points, and then the 1 days are worth so many in the 2020s again. And at the end of it, that works out who gets the women's Ashes between Australia and England.
Nice. Righto. You got anything to add for the cricket, Randall?
No, nothing. Same thing. Turned on and saw 2 quick wickets before I jumped on here. And then I was just sort of watching in Davo's background.
Yes.
Second test coming up soon for the men.
Big talk. It starts Wednesday.
Big talk that there's going to be, a bit more spice in the wicket this time.
Yeah.
Who's going to play for Australia? Will it be Stark, or which
They've
you
got to.
assume it will be? But who
They've got to.
misses
Being
out?
at Lords, and the slope that's on the field, like Lords isn't level. It's actually on a slope. It
Yeah.
goes across. So Stark being a lefty, and James Anderson has come out and said, if you don't put a bit more spice in these wickets, I'm done. So for him to come out and say that, hopefully there's a bit more in it for the bowlers. And I think
Yeah.
being at Lords with the slope, Stark's got to play. I think Boland, I'd probably leave Boland out as well as what he's done. But Hazelwood had a good test that he came back with. And if he's fit enough, back to the old guard.
Oh, Dickie, welcome to the show, mate. Randall has nothing to add normally of quality, unlike Gardner's bowling.
Thanks, mate.
It's pretty good statement there, I reckon, Randall.
Oh, it's all fact. It's okay.
Oh, she was bowling well,
Yeah.
like for the whole test, but especially today, she was getting turn, bounce, and just ripped through them.
Yeah, it was good to see. I just love the fact that there were so many runs in the test.
And still had a result. Came down to day 5, which could have gone to either team. So
Yeah.
that's all you ask for in Test cricket.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on. What else have I got in the slides? I can't even remember. Oh, what about the Angels?
Oh,
Outscored the Rockies by 20 runs in their series, 32-12, and the Rockies took the series. How about that 25-1 game? You blokes
Unreal.
catch any of the highlights?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Mustakas being traded from the Rockies to the Angels after that game.
Yeah.
He's got to be thinking, oh, thank Christ I'm out of here.
So there's 25-1. There was 28 hits from the Angels, and there was 7 hits from the bloody Rockies. So, yeah, crazy game. Did anyone check on Dufo? I'm not sure, mate. I haven't seen or heard from him. It was a pretty spectacular game, that's for sure. But
yeah.
That's Colorado
Well,
for you.
Yeah, the ball was flying.
it was.
But what was it? A 13-run third and then an 8-run fourth or something, wasn't it? Something stupid like that. They just,
something crazy.
Toronto lower grade game.
Yeah.
Lately.
We won't talk
lately.
about that this week. That was average. We got an absolute shellacking in 3rd and 4th grade this week.
We did add another name to the injury list too, though. Smides, well done, mate.
Yeah. Chidge, if you're listening, mate, I don't know why you didn't sacrifice that duck like we talked about. But anyway, it's got to go this week. I think 2, you got to knock 2 off this week, mate, so that we can break the curse. Randall, we're heading up to the Goldie on the weekend, mate. The Down Under Winter Classic is on. Over 50 teams competing over the 5 or 6 days up there. Looking forward to getting up there and having a look at some baseball.
Yeah,
how's your young bloke going?
Oh, mate, he's hardly sleeping at the moment. He's just pumped to get up there. So he's super excited, which is great to see for the young kids that they're excited to get up there and get amongst it. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. He's a bit nervous playing against and with some pretty quality players. So
Well, that's what it's all about, getting to play against, different people and playing with different people. Ninja's commented on the spiders at second base. There was definitely some rattlesnakes out there. I don't think there was any spiders, mate. Rattlesnakes.
Definitely something out there.
I heard there was a divot there at third base as well. There was talk about that in the aftermath after the game on the weekend. But, Toronto didn't play so well on the weekend. But anyway, life goes on. Are we still in the top 4?
Just. One game in front of Maitland, who's 5th.
Yeah.
Or one win in front of him.
What about in
So-
fourth grade? Do you know, mate? No idea.
Yeah,
I'll have to do some homework.
they're starting to be a long way off. I think 5th or even 6th.
With
Yeah.
15 straight losses, that's probably what happens, I guess.
Yeah, well,
That's what it feels like anyway.
there hasn't. I don't think I've been a part of too many wins. That's for sure.
Hey,
Anyway,
listen, the Mound was great at Waterboard on the weekend. So I thank Damo and Ninja for the effort they've put in. They did work over the long weekend, and the Mound was great. It's nice and solid, unlike boomerangs. But boys did a hell of an effort and tip the cap to them.
yeah, it was good, mate. It was real good to pitch off. Nice slope. Hey, Van Dyke, I know you didn't see this earlier, but give us your best 2 catches, mate. We've given our thoughts on this, but let us know in the comments who you like there. We're gonna just move on.
There's no Braves catcher there. He won't comment.
Nah.
No
There's
Harvey Lopez.
no left-handed catches involved either, mate. So let's head off to the MLB standings and we'll get us out of here. Randall's bit of a sore throat and going on. So Tampa Bay still at the top, 4.5 games ahead of Baltimore. I'm not going to mention anyone else in that AL East, Davo, but I think Boston's about 13 games back. So I won't mention them, mate. All right.
And still 3 games over 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Twins in front of Cleveland in the Central by 2 games. Texas over Houston and LA Angels, 5.5 games back. Atlanta out in front of Miami by 6 games. Cincinnati Reds have had an absolute blast. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're half a game in front of Milwaukee. So NL Central's quite tight. Arizona.
Pirates dying off.
Yeah, they're slowly dying off. Hopefully they come good, mate, again. Arizona, 2.5 games in front of San Francisco. They had a quality series there just recently, just finished today. So that was a good one for the Giants. Pudge by a country mile, Molina. Yeah, I think Pudge was my choice too, mate. Absolutely. What about anything else from you guys from baseball before we sign off from that? Anything happened during the week that you were excited about?
Freddie Freeman, 2,000 hits. You mentioned it before, Randall.
Yeah.
So he was welcomed into the hit club. So not a bad effort from him. Him and Mookie Betts are providing a nice 1-2 for the Dodgers there. Like Mookie leading off and then Freddie batting 2. So it's not a bad combo to have. So congrats to Freddie.
Matt Olson hit himself another home run. Ties Ohtani with 25 for the most in baseball at the moment.
Pete Alonso hit 24 today as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming back after his injury. What do you have, wrist or something where you got hit on the hand?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
what do you reckon? I know it's almost halfway. What do you reckon about players for 30-30s this year? We haven't seen too many in recent times. I think
Acuna's already reached 30 stolen bases, so I reckon he's going to be close to a lock for it.
35 stolen bases, 20 and 16 home runs. So we're halfway through the season. Surely he'll get there. You reckon?
Yeah.
Good.
Corbin Carroll is probably the same. 23 stolen bases and 16 home runs. Bobby Witt Jr., 23 stolen bases and 12 home runs. You know, they're probably going to get there. Julio, 17 stolen bases, 13 home runs.
How's Ohtani going with stolen bases? Normally he's a stolen base threat. I don't know how he's gone this year.
He's got a few still. The one that surprised me was the bloody steroid cheat. So
Tatis.
he missed a fair portion at the start of the season and he's got 14 stolen bases and 15 home runs already.
Yeah, right.
Did see Jughead just put up there as well. Luis Robert. He's another one that could very well be there as well. Actually, what's he got? Nah, only 4 stolen bases.
He hit 2 bombs today.
He's hit 21.
Yeah.
But it's the stolen bases that are hurting him. He's only got 4. Otani's got 10 stolen bases. But he's 25 home runs. So
yeah, no,
hitting too many bombs, not getting on base enough, or just hitting triples.
Luis Robert was out for a bit of the season at the start, wasn't he? As well. So yeah, maybe he'll get there.
Can Ronald get to 40 and 40?
I'm saying no. No, I don't think so.
Too far behind in the home runs, you think? Stolen bases, he'll obviously get there next week. But,
I reckon it's a chance if he stays healthy. If he gets on a tear, I know JVD's gone no, but yeah, just the home run total. I reckon he might end up about 36 dingers and 50 stolen bases.
How many stolen bases has Julio Rodriguez, Randall? Because he's got about 12 or 13 home runs.
Yeah, he was one that I did just mention then as well. He was, where was he? 17 stolen bases and 13 home runs. So he's another one that's on track to do it. So, yeah.
It'll be interesting. I guess we can track that a little bit more as it goes on.
The interesting thing I read today as well, George Springer hit another leadoff bomb. That's now 55 for his career, and Ricky Henderson holds the record with 81. So that could be a record. Second. Yeah, that could be a record to watch. Mind you, 37 still needs another 37. I know he's getting a little bit older, but at least he's now in getting close to it, up in the second. So there's something to watch.
I hope he gets it this year because I've got him in my fantasy team.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that is probably a record though that I think the way the game's played now, that will get run down.
Yeah.
There's too many. That's just the standard now. Your leadoff hitter has power. Everyone in the lineup has power now. Everyone can hit one out. So yeah.
But no one did it with the same flair that Ricky did.
Nah, that's right.
Hey, Ricky Henderson, what a legend. So Shoei and Matt Olson on 25 home runs. Just going back to home runs. Pete Alonso on 24. Lewis Robert, 21. George Soler on 21. Kyle Schwarber back at 20. Mookie Betts on 19 and Aaron Judge on 19. Any news on Judge and when he's coming back? I haven't seen any.
Cares he's a Yankee.
Fair call. All right. Do you want to run through NRL, Randall, or leave it?
I'll just leave it, mate.
Yeah, can't talk. Let's leave it.
Yeah, we can just quickly mention Luke Brooks signing with Manly. So it'll be interesting to see how Jughead feels about that. Moving on to them.
4-year deal?
Or was it 3? I don't know. It was multi-year for like $2 million or something. And then the whole Ben Hunt saga. He's at Dragons, not playing well, has a whinge, has a sook, wants out of his contract. And I'm sorry, mate, you've signed a contract, honour it. If you're that good a player to be paid what you're being paid, you should be lifting the other players around you to make the team better. So that's one thing I hate about the NRL is that people start playing bad or having a bad season. Nah, I want out. It's the coach. It's something else. No one wants to accept responsibility themselves and see a contract through. So I'm glad the Dragons are saying no. It's about time a team stood up to the players and said, well, hang on, you signed your deal. You're playing like shit. Only you can fix that. So I hope they don't let him go.
Yeah.
As notice.
If a player's playing good, they're the first one to stand up and say, I deserve more money.
Yep.
So I'm playing out of my skin. Second, they play like rubbish. They're never going to give the money back, are they, if they play like
No.
crap?
No,
So,
it's other factors and they want out of there. So
Yep.
I hope the Dragons don't let him go. And as JVD said, yeah, it is a 4-year deal with Brooks.
Yep. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so what have we got now? 2 coach casualties?
Yeah, so Gold Coast, they sacked their coach and, of course, came out with a
Holbrook,
win
yeah.
on the weekend. He did all right, though. Like, he's kept them in the top 8, or they were just out of the 8, but now they're
Thereabouts.
back in. But Desi Hasler's, he's there. So it'll be interesting to see how Desi goes up there. And Flanagan was named as Dragons coach. So he's won it. He won the title with just Sharks, didn't he? So he should go all right. And now there's rumblings about Benji at the Tigers. So watch his space, really.
Adam O'Brien at Newcastle will. Who knows what will happen with him?
You reckon he'll be gone soon?
Probably. If a team doesn't perform, that's who goes.
That's
and considering Penrith rested every player from State of Origin, but in saying that, Penrith is a different team. It's sort of like it showed last year. They won all 3 grades. So they've got the depth. So even when they rest their State of Origin players, the people they throw out there are still a good quality team.
Yeah. Tuvey will be assistant at Manly very soon from JVD. Mate,
bloody
There's got to be an
Silvertails. You love your
investigation.
Tuvey.
Yeah. Oh, Tuvey. Well, Warriors flogged the Dragons. That was one of the games I did watch. Horrible. The Eels dominated the Dolphins. What about those Panthers, as you said, Davo? What was it, 20-12, Randall?
Yeah, over the
Yeah,
night.
20-12. And then Storm flogged Manly. They did that pretty easy. The upset of the round really was Titans beating Broncos. They beat them 18-12.
What about the Cowgirls, mate?
Then it continued on. Yeah, the Cowgirls 31-6 over the Rabbits. Interesting that they went to halftime at 5-0.
Yes.
The Cowboys kicked a field goal just before halftime, which you don't often see. And then the Roosters, they're having a shocker. They got done by Canberra, 20-18.
Yeah.
So, and the good old Bulldogs got some points thanks to the bye. Same with the
Tigers,
mate.
mate.
So, where's my ladder here? So yeah, that's sort of rounds out that. And this week, what do we got? Sharks versus Dragons, Warriors versus Rabbits. That should be a pretty good game over there. Storm versus Panthers down in Melbourne. That will be that should be a really good match. Raiders versus Titans. Cowboys against the Tigers. Easy 2 points for the Tigers there, mate. Queensland battle. You've got Broncos and Dolphins, and then Bulldogs. We should get 2 points for playing the Knights. And then the Silvertails versus the Roosters to round us out. So that's what's coming up this week. So the ladder, Penrith, well, it's tight. You've got Penrith, Brisbane, and Melbourne all on 24. Sharks, Warriors, Raiders 22. Para and Souths on 20, and the Titans 20. There's your top 8. Then Cowboys and Dolphins are 1 game out on 18 with the Roosters, sorry. Manly 17, Newcastle 15, Bulldogs 14, and Tigers and Dragons bringing home the rear.
Fair enough, mate. Yeah, the lowest halftime score since 81. Jets and Balmain Tigers, that 5-0 halftime scoreline.
Go the Blue Bags.
Interesting to see out of that Broncos game. I don't know if Reece Walsh has landed himself in some trouble or not.
Yeah, for the verbal spray.
Dropping a C-bomb at the referee and being picked up on the referee's mic.
And also the shoulder charge just before half-time too.
Yeah.
He made no attempt to try and tackle the guy whatsoever, and he's just gone in with the shoulder. And I was actually talking with Ando about it, and just what a bad look it was after State of Origin with him being sent off and there he is tapping his Queensland and cheering on and all that. And we said, some kids are probably going to see that and think, all right, we're winning the game. I'm going to go in with a head high, get sent off, and walk off tapping me team jersey just because we've won. So I hope he looks back at it and realises what a tosser he was for doing that, and might grow up a bit and really know that the role model he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Queenslander who won't grow up. He's just the new Justin Hodges.
Yeah, pretty much.
The bloke that everybody loves to hate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, he could be in trouble for. Well, it was sent straight to judiciary too, wasn't it? The mouthing off at the ref. So
yeah,
be interested to see what comes of it.
Yeah, it's not even like he's an old salty veteran or anything either. You know, it's what his third year or something into his career. You know, he was okay playing for the Warriors and whatnot, and he has had a good year this year, surrounded by a whole team that are playing well as a team. You know, he's had 2 games in Origin. He's already chirping and carrying on like he's been there forever and a day. Like,
yeah,
you got to prove yourself first. You can't just have half a season playing out of your skin and then chirp.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ponga started the same way, and look at him at the moment.
That's it.
He was the next best thing, and the fullback for Queensland, and doing so well. And what's he doing now?
He's playing for the Knights, mate.
Yeah, overrated.
Hey, JVD mentioned the Newtown Jets before, and I've seen in the news they could be the expansion team next year. Did you Blakes hear about
that?
No, I didn't hear.
I couldn't imagine it, mate. Not based out of Sydney. Not a chance.
Come on, mate.
It won't be. They won't have another team in Sydney. Guaranteed.
No, they want to move teams out of Sydney. Sydney's so flooded. I'd love to see Central Coast get a team, but I can't really see it happening. Got the stadium and all that, but could be another Queensland team, I reckon.
Central Coast Rips. Get them in there.
Yeah.
Central Coast Rips.
Fair enough.
Could bring back the Hunter Mariners.
Get the Bears in there, mate. Just get the Bears back.
Get the Bears back.
Get the Bears back. Play them out of the Central Coast.
Good jersey.
They've got the money.
I think I've got one in the cupboard, actually.
Have you?
From when I was a young fella.
You beauty.
I got my Jets jersey still in the cupboard there. Tommy Ridiculous, number 7. Yep.
Unreal. All right, fellas, let's leave it there. Thanks for joining us tonight. Next week's show will probably be Tuesday. Not 100% sure yet of our schedule up there. We'll
Depends how drunk you guys are on the Gold Coast.
Live from the Goldie.
Yeah, it depends how drunk you guys are on the Gold Coast as to when and where it's at.
Mate, it's a full business trip, mate. There'll be no drinking involved.
What?
We might have one or two
scratching the nose over here, Pinocchio.
Yeah. All right. We might have a couple, Davo. We might have a couple, mate. But next week we'll have some interviews and stuff during the days as well, not just our Tuesday night podcast. So at this stage, it is Tuesday night next week. Thanks for joining us today for the Monday night edition. If you didn't see the Taylor Gill bit at the start, go back and watch the replay. Well worth it. Young fella doing really well on the world stage. So we wish him all the best. Yeah. And for you blokes, I wish you all the best too, and have a good week. Boys.
Sounds good. See you, mate.
All right.